What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about the shocking reveal of DMZ, some huge changes to the Warzone 2 ecosystem, and even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, because we're very close to 100,000 subscribers here on the main channel. Really appreciate it. Also drop a like and turn notifications on to stay up to date with everything going on in Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, Warzone Mobile, and any other future Call of Duty as well. So yesterday we went ahead and did a countdown and reaction stream to the big DMZ and Warzone 2 gameplay event. Some creators that are a part of the Warzone community and the Escape from Tarkov community went ahead and got flown out to Infinity Ward to play both of those experiences. Now, we didn't get a trailer for DMZ or a new one for Warzone 2 just yet. We do know that more marketing and blog posts are coming for those modes early next week. Keep you guys posted with that one. But the thing about the event was this. They had celebrity Warzone streamers who play a specific way, trying out a slow and tactical game mode that I don't think many hardcore Call of Duty fans are really familiar with, unless they've played other games out there, such as Escape from Tarkov or a game like even The Division. So the first thing I want to recap on is regarding Warzone 2. Here's a quick rapid fire style recap of what was changed about it, what new information we learned. So first off, with loadouts, they can be obtained in a couple of different ways, either by waiting for it to drop in from the sky deep into your match like we're accustomed to with Warzone 1, or by completing strongholds and black site objectives, which will also give you your full loadout. Now, buy stations do not give you the ability to buy your full loadout, only primary weapons. Now, you can buy a primary weapon for a hefty amount of cash and then upgrade that weapon by buying attachments for it at the station. You can also loot attachments for free around the environment, just like Blackout, and equip those attachments for absolutely no cost. Now, buy stations do give you the ability to buy gear, which I would personally save all my money for and then just wait for the loadout or complete an objective to get one later in your match. The Gulag 2v2 system has been modified quite a bit since COD Next. Now the way it works is this. It'll still be a 2v2, but if all four players somehow agree to not kill each other using proximity chat, you can wait for the AI to spawn in deeper into that Gulag session, and if you guys team up to defeat that AI individual, you'll all spawn back into the match. Now, if you guys choose to not kill the AI and not kill yourselves either, then everybody fails and nobody respawns back into the match. So it's a really interesting way to kind of coordinate some teamwork, use proximity chat. It's a really interesting new way to do a Gulag, and I'm really excited to see how the community reacts to it next week. Now, we're also going to be seeing interrogations added to Warzone 2, so only available in BR modes. You have the option to pick up intel from enemies that you kill to reveal their teammates' location. That is a really huge feature that I think is going to go a long way when Warzone 2 comes out. And also with the end cutscene after a match of Warzone 2, it'll show you what each person's strength was somebody the kill leader, an objective completer. It'll show you exactly what kind of performance everybody put on within your team. And the stats that it'll show you include your score, kills for regular enemies, kills for AI, your overall damage done, a really nice improvement over the stats that we got to see back during Warzone 1. Now, here's some extra information and some other details you might have missed with the new Warzone 2 gameplay. There is a nuke inside of Warzone 2. It's extremely hard to earn apparently, and it's only earnable in very specific ways and not available in every match. It's unclear what that means, but the teasers that we got from the Call of Duty team, even Charlie Intel, that screams to me that it'll be a very exclusive and rare contract you can get. Not sure what the requirements are going to be, but I cannot wait to see the first squad that manages to get a nuke in a match. I'm assuming that ends the entire game early or something. Really excited to see what that is, but the actual menu does say that Warzone 2 will be 150 players in terms of how many people you can fit over on Al Mazrah. Maybe other LTMs in the future or a different Warzone 2 map in the future will allow you to have up to 200 players, but as of right now, that's the cap. The armor system in Warzone 2 remains the same as we were shown over at COD Next, but based on the gameplay, there's different tiers of armor, and also you can only equip one armor plate until you find a satchel. Now, the backpack is still there. The looting has definitely improved. It's a lot faster, but still a little bit on par with what you'd expect over in Blackout, and it was confirmed that owners of Modern Warfare 2 will get additional XP boosts at the end of every Warzone 2 match. Another incentive towards buying the premium Call of Duty this year, even though Warzone 2 is free to play. There's also the electric GMC Hummer. Even though it's an electric car, in Warzone 2 you do have to find fuel around the map to keep it powered. And it's a really cool new addition to the Warzone 2 vehicle system, similar to Fortnite, where yes, vehicles will run out of gas. But now when it comes to DMZ, the extraction-like mode that people out there really didn't know much about before yesterday, unless you guys kept up with all the rumors and leaks over the last year and a half, the description for it that they provided was DMZ is an open-world, narrative-focused extraction mode where squads complete faction-based missions, take on additional side objectives, engage with enemy operators or AI combatants, and search for valuable items, all while fighting to survive toward exfiltration. And that's the thing. I feel like expectations were certainly a little too high for this mode, but there's a reason behind that. Maybe the mystery surrounding the mode has led to high expectations, which is fair, or people kept up with and put too much trust into all the rumors that have surfaced about the mode over the last year and a half-ish from people like Ralph's Valve, Ghost of Hope, and let's not deny that they've gotten things right many times about Modern Warfare 2 and just COD 2.0 in general, but when it comes to all the leaks about DMZ, so much of them were wrong, and like I covered in videos over the last year, whenever I brought up those rumors that were surrounding DMZ, I'd always say take it all with a grain of salt because you never know. And when the gameplay reveal happened yesterday for DMZ, I honestly felt like so many people out there just didn't know how to react to the gameplay reveal. They didn't know how to explain the mode. They didn't understand what was going on in the footage they were watching. And that's another point that I wanted to bring up. The people specifically that were playing DMZ, right? We had the celebrity Warzone creators that were there. They were YY spamming. They were looting quickly, kind of speedrunning their way through the environment. And you know what? I get it. They play Warzone like that, so I understand why they were giving that vibe when trying out DMZ. I don't think any of the celebrity streamers that were there would really touch DMZ past the event from yesterday. I don't think that's their cup of tea. I don't think they had much interest in it, and that's totally fine. They just might not have the audiences that are down for that type of gameplay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, it's for marketing, of course, making sure that the maximum amount of people see what DMZ is like. I totally get that approach, but then with the Escape from Tarkov creators that were there, they were playing it as if they were playing Tarkov, and there was a couple of problems with that, right? You have a rich audience from a lot of those creators that only wants to see Tarkov, that know those creators for Tarkov. Therefore, they're going to be bashing DMZ a bit for not being Tarkov, but then if it was too close to Tarkov, they'd probably say, oh, it's just a copy-paste, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. So that's also a double-edged sword. I do think it was the right approach bringing those people out there to try it, because some of them had a good time, and some of them really showcased what the mode is about, but when some of them put out their reactions to the mode, either in tweets or live on stream, and they were saying things like, oh, Tarkov is safe, DMZ won't really touch it, it's not really direct competition, it's something a bit different. Well, the thing I would say is, all right, they flew those creators out there for a reason because the team at Infinity Ward feels like it is kind of a competitor to Tarkov. That's the first thing I'll say. The other thing is that Tarkov isn't free to play and probably will never be, at least not right now. It's not really catered towards casual players, which limits the player count, and it's also not available on consoles. It's a PC-only game. So already, DMZ has many advantages over Tarkov. I'm not trying to say that one is better than the other yet, because that's totally subjective, but Escape from Tarkov just won't be on the scale like DMZ will be, and that already opens up the door to just a completely different player count that can exceed what Escape from Tarkov was ever able to do. Now, my issue with DMZ is in regards to the economy, as you've probably seen many tweets and videos about already. The issue with the mode is that there's so much to do in the experience, there's so much to explore, but then the end game behind the mode kind of has you scratching your head like, wait a second, did I just do all that for XP? Are there any unlockables? Is there an in-game currency? Can I pick up some exclusive loot? I mean, when the mode was leaked out as an experience that really focuses heavily on progression from game to game, but then when people played it, and it wasn't that, I think people out there were rightfully confused about what the entire purpose of DMZ is. Now, there's quests that you spawn in with, as you can see at the menu, but then you're like, wait, what are the rewards for doing all those things? Is it just XP? And as of right now, it looks like that. And then you ask, wait, what differentiates a player who's put in 100 hours in a DMZ versus a player who maybe is playing a second or third match? Now, here's what that leads me to. The mode itself is absolutely in beta, so I guess that kind of lines up with the leak that claimed the mode would release in beta. But the problem with that is that if the mode doesn't have longevity from the get-go, if it doesn't show you a really strong endgame and a purpose to play it, I don't think many updates in future seasons would win people's trust back. Because again, launch impressions are very important. As I always say with anything in Call of Duty, the launch impression for an experience, a mode, a map, whatever it is, that can make or break an entire DLC season. Now, even if DMZ gets multiple years of support, even if it gets even more support than Warzone 2 does over the next couple of months, still, I don't think launching it in a bare bones state is the right way. I mean, maybe you can argue for a delay, release it early next year when it has better endgame content. And that's the weird thing, right, is it doesn't feel like it's a bare bones mode. There's a lot to do, there really is. It's just all about what you earn after all of that. Now, what most people have been saying online, which I think is a fair point of criticism is that the campaign mission alone shows you just how rich the crafting can get in Modern Warfare 2 with the whole COD 2.0 ecosystem. So everybody out there expected more of that with DMZ, but we didn't really get to see that. It's unclear if a future update will make the mode feel more like that, or if maybe a mode like Raids that isn't coming out until December is going to be the mode that focuses more on that type of gameplay. We just all assumed that that type of gameplay was what DMZ was going to be going for, but maybe it won't be. I mean, I am a fan of the fact that you can find valuables around the environment, whether it's wine bottles, game consoles, water bottles, anything, and you can then trade in those items at a buy station for money that you can then use to buy gear, to buy weapons, whatever else you want. I think that's awesome, but it can go even farther than that, and campaign really showcased that well, so I'm wondering if they're going to ever utilize those mechanics even more in a future update. But the last thing I'll say is this: for those out there claiming that DMZ seems like a glorified Plunder 2.0, or it seems like Infinity Ward's take on Hazard Zone from Battlefield 2042, I wouldn't go as far as to say that. I don't really know where that comes from, because DMZ already seems very polished in comparison to Hazard Zone or any other mode that we've seen from other franchises, and it's also definitely not Plunder 2.0, but I could see where you get that from if you're saying, oh, well, it's just for XP, so yeah, it is kind of a Plunder. I get what you're saying there, but the mode is going for more than that. But the thing about that is the players playing it also matter, because if you go into that thinking that you're playing Warzone 2 or multiplayer or Spec Ops, you're not doing it right. I just think DMZ is a mode that you're meant to hop onto and stay on for hours. Not something you hop onto for 15, 20 minutes and move on to the next thing. It's meant for you to stick on that and have a long session. So it reminds me perfectly of when people out there hopped on Outbreak for the first time during Cold War and were trying to play it like round-based, when that's not the way to go about it at all. That's just not how Outbreak works. People out there learn that very quickly. So I think with DMZ, it'll be a similar process where people begin to learn how to play the mode and just how different it is from some other modes we're accustomed to in Call of Duty. Again, this type of gameplay, this type of tactical extraction-like experience is different for Call of Duty. We haven't seen this before. So it's going to be an adjustment period for the community to really give this a shot. And I think it won't be until the entire world plays DMZ to when people out there can really realize what the mode is truly about. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the shocking reveal of DMZ yesterday? How are you feeling about the improvements to Warzone 2 and everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.